Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on Movie Show Plus. We are happy to announce that this is our Season 7 premiere. Since relaunching the show back in 2018, we've done over 100 plus episodes. Thank you to all of you out there who have supported us through the years and allow us to continue to bring you the latest in movies with a local Detroit angle. I'm Tom Santilli, film critic for WXYZ and Movie Show Plus. Greg Russell will be along a little bit later with his patented interviews and his interview segment, the Greg Russell Spotlight. But the lot to get to, this past week had the Oscar nominations were announced, so we're in that final stretch run of what feels like it's been a long award season. Right off the bat, though, I would like to let everybody know, speaking of the Oscars, that there are two upcoming events with me and Greg involved that I would love to tell you about, both of them taking place at the Maple Theater. The first is an Academy Award preview discussion. It's going to be happening March 7th at 7 o'clock at the Maple Theater. Tickets are $12. By the time you're watching this, tickets will be available on themapletheater.com. The $12 gets you access to the event, as well as a small soft drink and popcorn. Fans of Movie Show Plus know that every year we do like an Oscar preview special. The last couple of years we've done them from local bars. We were out at Dino's Lounge in Ferndale, and we were also, last year we did it at the Fill-In Station Bar and Grill in Chesterfield. This year we're going to be doing our Oscar preview special from the Maple Theater at that event. It's going to be a live event where hopefully you guys can come out. We'll get you all set up for the Oscars. I'll have a whole presentation. We'll go through the nominees. We'll discuss some things. We'll play some clips, and we'll have a good interactive discussion between Greg, myself, and those of you that are at the theater that day. Again, that's March 7th, and hopefully you can check that out. Leading up, of course, to the Oscar Gala, which will be March 27th. That's Sunday, Oscar Sunday. Those of you who were here in the past, before the pandemic, know that the Oscar Gala that we put on was by far the hottest Oscar movie event going on in the Detroit area. It was so much fun. You get to watch the Oscars on the big screen. There's live music, drinks, red carpet, photo booth, everything that you would want to celebrate the Oscars. Then you get to go into the theater, watch the Oscars with fellow movie lovers on the big screen. Meanwhile, me and Greg are giving away tons of movie swag. We did a silent auction last time. We're going to do that again this time. So it's just so much fun. Tickets for the Oscar Gala are also available online. Those are $30 a piece. We're also planning on having swag bags to the first, so we don't know how many yet, but last time it was the first 50 people got a swag bag that had all kinds of free stuff in it. So it's just so much fun. The theme, the Academy Awards, when they were announced, had a theme that they announced as well, which was Movie Lovers United. I love that. I love that we at the Maple Theater are all movie lovers. We're uniting. Things are hopefully slowing down with the pandemic, where people at least feel comfortable, having been vaccinated and boosted. Hopefully they're feeling good to get out in public. And so we really hope that people can join us for these two Oscar events coming up in March. Me and Greg will be revealing our Oscar picks and our predictions and that sort of thing, all at that preview event on March 7th. But if you have not yet heard the Oscar nominations or just kind of want to see what they all are, here are the Academy Award nominations in 23 categories that were announced this past Tuesday. Now, everybody knows that with the Academy Awards, every year there are some surprise nominations and there are also some snubs. Let's take a look at some of the snubs, in my opinion, based on those that did not get nominated this year. The first one is Catriona Balfe from Belfast. She was fabulous in this movie. She was expected to land a nomination for supporting actress, and instead, Judi Dench seems to have gotten her place. Judi Dench was also in this film. She was also great, but in a smaller role, but the Academy loves Judi Dench. Catriona Balfe was deserving, but was not included. Then there's Jennifer Hudson, who, to me, had one of the greatest performances of the year as Aretha Franklin in Respect. She was getting a little bit of buzz in the during the award season, but obviously was not enough to generate a nomination for her. Also a bit of a snub, Ruth Negga, who had been showing up a lot for the movie Passing, also Tessa Thompson. The film Passing was passed on. It received 0 nominations, and Ruth Negga was left out in the cold. A lot of people also were clamoring for The Harder They Fall. That movie did not get much love from critics leading up to the Oscar nominations, so I guess it's not much of a surprise that it wasn't included, but a snub nonetheless. Then there's the director Denis Villeneuve, who is the director of Dune. Now, Dune came in second with a total of 10 nominations. It got nominated for Best Picture and across almost every technical category, which is a pretty stellar achievement for the film. But then how, if it's nominated for all of those technical categories, how does Denis Villeneuve not get nominated for Best Director? His snub was maybe the most egregious of the Best Directing category, and he'll have another chance when he releases a couple upcoming Dune movies in the next couple years. Here are some other Academy Award firsts and notable news that were generated from this year's nomination batch. Steven Spielberg, the legendary director, has now been nominated for Best Director in 6 different decades. Nobody else has ever done that. Netflix came in first overall with 27 nominations, leading all other studios. Disney was second. Denzel Washington, nominated for The Tragedy of Macbeth, extends his record as the most nominated African-American actor. This was his 9th total nomination. There was a lot of panic on social media and Twitter especially about Kristen Stewart. Was she or was she not going to get nominated? She ended up landing a nomination for Spencer. It's the first nomination of her career. And she becomes, actually, believe it or not, only one of 3 openly LGBTQ people to ever be nominated. Then there's Jane Campion. She's the first female director to have been nominated twice. She was nominated way back when for The Piano. Troy Kotsur, the actor from Coda, becomes the first deaf man and the second ever deaf person nominated. Marlee Matlin, of course, was the first. The extraordinary film Flea is the first movie ever to be nominated for Best Animated Feature, Best Documentary, and Best International Feature. I don't think we'll ever see that again in our lifetimes. Now here's a story to watch. Poor Diane Warren. I say poor. She's now been nominated 13 times for an Oscar. She was nominated this year for the song Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. Get this, 13 nominations, 0 wins, but this is the 5th straight year that she's been nominated. She's been nominated 7 times of the last 8 years. Diane Warren is always in the mix, just can't seem to land that gold. Just somebody give her an Oscar, please, this year. Let's be done with it. Both Beyonce and Billie Eilish are first-time nominees, both being nominated for Best Song. Ari Wagner becomes the second ever woman to be nominated for cinematography. She was the cinematographer on The Power of the Dog. And The Power of the Dog leads with 12 total nominations. Again, Dune was second with 10, but Power of the Dog led with 12 total nominations. Speaking of The Power of the Dog, Greg Russell does all kinds of interviews, as everybody who watches the show knows. In the past couple years, they've all been done via Zoom. The Power of the Dog, though, happened to be one of the first actual in-person junket interviews after the pandemic, last fall, as things were kind of clearing up for a minute and people were vaccinated, Greg got to speak with Benedict Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons, all three of whom landed Oscar nominations for The Power of the Dog. Here is the Greg Russell Spotlight.
Benedict, always a pleasure seeing you.
Thank you, Gregory. Likewise, likewise. Nice to be in person again,
Yes!
isn't it?
As I say, it's so good not seeing you.
I know. I can't pretend that feels normal. This feels so much more normal.
This is one of those movies where folks are going to have to see it again or want to see it again.
I hope, yeah.
Because like we said, once we got to the end and we had our conversation afterwards, it's
Yeah.
like everybody's bringing up where they saw red herrings, that we
Yeah,
should have been paying
yeah.
attention to, and it's like, okay, I got to go back and watch it again.
I think so, because there's such subtle nuance in everyone's kind of character arc in this, and it's a very layered piece that invites you in. It doesn't prescribe an outcome or an opinion for the audience to think or take away. I think it results in an audience projecting into it, so people come out and have different points of view or different theories or different lines that they followed. So I love that about good films. I mean, it's a taut psychological, thriller, really. Quartet of characters enmeshed in their circumstance and their outcome.
I've loved that. I mean, that was something that we all explored ourselves. Like, when I received the script, it was something personal that I explored, and I had my own judgments that were twisted on their butt. And then when I worked with the cast and the crew, we all explored our own approaches to it. But it's been really fulfilling as well to see everyone's response now. And thank God COVID isn't, too rampant, that we can actually see the experience, in person, how it hits people in their interpretation. It's a really big part of this movie.
And then, actually just on one of the fun parts, I heard you talk about how you grew up riding horses, and you were used to them, being by themselves and all like that. Tell us a little bit about, what was your horse's name?
Jerry.
Jerry. We won't say what his surname is.
Jerry the Kiwi horse. Yeah, it was a real, we worked it out, but it took a lot of working out. He, like I said, he's used to pulling a plow, so it was used to another horse, going along beside him, and so he was just very antsy being by himself and would just drift to try and find another horse to rub up next to. But yeah, we eventually figured it out, I think.
Right, well, it looked good.
Okay.
Good.
We didn't know from watching.
I wouldn't know
right,
either
good.
I'll
now.
put it that way. And then also, I know people at times do draw things from other movies, and it was so funny, you mentioned the part about the spinning with Drop Dead Gorgeous. That was one of my COVID movies.
Oh, it was?
And what I mean by that is, we started pulling stuff that we hadn't watched.
In a while. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and that was one. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it
I
is.
love doing dark comedy and stuff, and I love that whole weird beauty pageant world, and I don't know, there's something so weird about, putting kids and all that makeup, and it's just so crazy. So I always have, loved watching those kind of things.
Yeah, and like you said, that's where you learn how to do kind of like the spinny.
Yeah, Allison
thing.
Janney taught me to feel like kind of out of it, or it works a lot for playing drunk too, because it just kind of puts you off balance in a way. Yeah.
Right, well, again, like I said, a whole interesting movie. I look forward to watching it again. Seriously, just because then you can go, now I'm catching this, now this is fitting in. But again, thank you both very, very much. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Great
Good to see you.
your faces. So,
Oh, you're so sweet.
Movie Show Plus continues on because of the help of our sponsors and those out there that support us via Patreon. I'll have more information on that later in the show. But right now, let's stop and pause a minute to hear from some of those sponsors that keep Movie Show Plus going.
How would you like to see the city of Detroit like you've never seen it before? On Russell Brothers City Tours, we take you to the places that you know, but the fun part is we take you to places that you probably don't know. Hi, I'm Greg Russell of Russell Brothers City Tours. Come on, let's get on board and take a tour of the city of Detroit. Where Russell Brothers City Tours started was actually in the winter of 2017. My wife and I and our daughter and her husband were at an event downtown Detroit. So when heading back home, I always ask, can I take the scenic route, which means just going Woodward straight north. Normally, my wife would always say, just take the freeway. But this time I think it was my holiday gift, so she said, go ahead and take your scenic route. So as we're going up Woodward, I'm pointing out certain places and certain things, what they used to be, what used to be here, what happened in certain things. And my daughter was going, Pop, you know so much about the city, why don't you just give a tour? And it made me think, you know what? that's a good idea. So I got home and I called my brother Cliff Russell, and some of you may remember Cliff. He was a guy who knew everything about the city of Detroit, was deeply involved with the community. So I called him and I told him the idea, and he said, okay, hey Greg, you put it together and I'll be there. So we were all set. We were going to do it in 2018. Well, unfortunately, in February of 2018, my brother Cliff passed away from a heart attack. And it was devastating to our family, but it made me think even more about doing this tour. And that's why it's still called Russell Brothers City Tours. It is my tribute and my honor to my brother. So when I go around town, I tell people all about the places here and even talk about some of the stuff that Cliff did in the community. People sometimes ask, what's the difference between our company as compared to other tour companies? Well, one thing that we like to do is show you stuff that we're pretty sure you probably never have seen or heard of in the city of Detroit. Also, we let you at times customize your own tour. There might be some particular things that you want to see, where we don't just say, okay, no, we're stuck to our schedule and our thing. You want to go see something, we will take you to see it. We'd love to hear from you. Just give us a call, 313-399-0683, or go to our website, Russell Brothers City Tours, or on all social media. Come on, we'd love to take you for a ride.
A Dream Limousine continues to be Metro Detroit's finest luxury transportation service. 734-542-6800. Offering late model luxury SUVs to brand new party buses that seat up to 34 passengers. 734-542-6800. Including the one-of-a-kind Escalade Stretch with the exciting jet door. Call 734-542-6800. That's 734-542-6800. A Dream Limousine.
Hey, Greg Russell here from Movie Show Plus. Enjoying being here at the Foundation Hotel this week. We've been taking the show on the road quite a bit. Now, if you've got a business that you would like us to showcase, just let us know. Get in touch with us via our website right here, movieshowplus.com, and we'll get back with you. And hey, who knows? You might be the next movie star right here on Movie Show Plus.
This week had the Oscar nominations, of course, but there were also a lot of movies that actually came out in the theater. I have full reviews of all of these films online, but here's a brief taste as to what you can expect if you go out to the movie theater this weekend. The big movie is Death on the Nile, directed by Kenneth Branagh and starring Kenneth Branagh. Also stars Gal Gadot in an all-star cast. This is a sequel to The Murder on the Orient Express, and that is in theaters right now this weekend. Not quite sure what happened to Liam Neeson, but his career has devolved into just a series of throwaway action flicks, the latest being Blacklight. That movie is in theaters this weekend. There's a new film on Apple TV Plus this weekend called The Sky is Everywhere. The romantic comedy I Want You Back, starring Charlie Day, Jenny Slate, and Gina Rodriguez. And last and maybe least is another romantic comedy, Marry Me, starring Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. You can catch that as well in theaters this weekend. Again, for my full reviews of all of these films, please visit the website movieshowplus.com, click on movie reviews. You can also check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. Be sure to leave your comments so I know what you think of the films as well. A popular segment on our show is called The Trailer Park. It's where we take a look at a new trailer that is recently dropped. Here now is the most recent Trailer Park featuring the upcoming Disney animated film Lightyear.
A year of work for a 4-minute flight. Isn't that something?
We're all ready if you are, sir.
Well, let's go find out if this...
We got a breach in the perimeter.
Thank you. Buzz Lightyear mission log. After a full year of being marooned on this planet, our first test flight is a go. Let's get everyone home.
Good luck, Captain. We're all counting on you.
Roger that.
There's a star
Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
We're being pursued by just a massive robot.
That was utterly terrifying, and I regret having joined you. Buzz!
LIGHTYEAR!
Let all the children do
I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise, whale calls.
No. White noise is fine.
Very well.
Good night, Socks.
Good night, Buzz.
So again, it's an exciting time of year for movie lovers. The Oscars are Sunday, March 27th. And once again, I'd like to tell you about the two events that you can come out with myself and Greg Russell, come out to the Maple Theater and get ready to celebrate movies. I just love, again, that the Oscars have the theme this year of Movie Lovers United. If you heard the Oscar nominations, by the way, they also talked about the idea that there's going to be some kind of fan participation element where fans can vote for their favorite movie and favorite scene of the year, and it'll be part of the Oscar broadcast. So for those that always complain that the movies are too stuffy or they hadn't seen any of them, now's your chance to get involved in the Oscars, and maybe your favorite movie will be shown on the air. By the way, all of these movies, several of them I should say, are available now more than ever before. In the past, I talked on social media about this, but when I was a kid, Oscar nomination day was like Christmas morning for me. I would wake up, I would make myself breakfast, and I would jot down as they announced every movie that I hadn't seen, and I would make a list of all the movies I needed to see before Oscar Sunday. Back before the internet, back before streaming, it was hard to find some of these films. I sometimes would have to drive all across the state to see some of these movies in little art house theaters. But with streaming, it's easier than ever to find these movies. If you look at our social media, on our Facebook page and on our Twitter, I just posted an article where you can find a lot of the films that are nominated for Oscars this year, where to find them on streaming platforms. But go there, check it out, and get ready for the Oscars. Speaking of getting ready for the Oscars, mark your calendars. Monday, March the 7th at the Maple Theater at 7 o'clock. You can attend an event with me and Greg Russell. It'll be an Academy Award preview discussion. Me and Greg will be on hand. We will go through a whole program of showing movie clips and going through all of the nominees across the 23 categories. It'll be interactive where we'll take some questions and go back and forth with the audience. And we'll be taping our next episode of Movie Show Plus at that event to air the following weekend. That event should get you ready, should get your ballot ready for the Oscar Gala Sunday, March 27th. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned because we'll be talking a lot in the coming weeks about what to expect at this event. But, there's a red carpet, there's a photo booth, there's drinks, there's swag bags, there's live music. The Oscar Gala is $30 per person. Tickets for both the Academy Award discussion on March 7th and the Oscar Gala on March 27th are both they're both available now on the mapletheater.com website. Buy your tickets in advance. Make sure that you reserve your seat to the hottest Oscar parties in town. That's going to do it for this episode. One last shout out to my Patreon supporters, those of you that support our show financially. If you don't know what patreon.com is, by the way, it's a website where you can go on there. You can give as little as $3 a month. There's different levels and things like that. But for as little as $3 a month, you can help Movie Show Plus stay on the air. You might have noticed that we are doing like one episode a month. The reason for that is because of the pandemic and the loss of a lot of sponsors. But the more Patreon supporters that we get, the more giveaways we can do, the more live events we can do, the more episodes we can do. So we really appreciate those that have chosen to be Patreons. If you haven't yet and want to do so for as little as $3 a month, go to the website, go to the, scan the QR code that you see on the screen, and become a Patreon. You might even get your name in the credits of the show. Look in a couple minutes at the credits of this episode for some of our recent Patreon supporters. At different levels, you can get some different swag too. You can get Movie Show Plus coffee mug, Movie Show Plus long sleeve t-shirt, some really cool stuff from me and Greg. So please check that out if you are able to and willing. That's going to do it for this premiere episode of Movie Show Plus. We hope to be around a lot. Of course, you'll hear us over the coming months about the Oscars, but throughout the year, we're going to be here. Me and Greg have a lot of fun stuff planned. We hope to get out and do some live shows again this summer. Thanks. Just thank you. We hope that you love movies as much as we do. So stick around for Movie Show Plus throughout the year. We shall see you at the movies. We hope to see you at the Oscar events. Take care out there and be safe.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.